Today is lesson 4.4b, continuing to find slope. The first two slides are probably going to be a review, and then the second two are going to be the third and final way to find slope without actually using a graph. So starting off today, it says plot the points and draw a line through them without calculating, meaning we don't need to count, just tell whether the slope of the line is positive, negative, 0, or undefined. And we have our slope man down here to help us. So first I'm going to plot our points. Remember, x, y in alphabetical order. So x is -4. These go by 2's. So this is really 2, 4, 6, 8. So our first point is at -4. So x is left to right. We went 4 to the left. And then -4 up and down. -4 is also down 4. So right there. And then our second point is 8, -10. So x is left and right, y is up and down. So 8 to the right over here, and then down 10, way down there. So we're going to draw our line through here. And then just tell whether the slope is positive, negative, 0, or undefined. And we can use our slope man. Remember, we always walk from left to right, just like we read a book. We read the sentence from left to right. We go across here from left to right. We are going downhill, so this would be a negative slope. Over here, let's plot these as well. X, Y, X, Y. This graph goes by 1, so be careful. It's really 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then our negatives. So here we have -5 first to the left, and y is up 1. And then x is -2 to the left and up 6. So if we put our line through those 2 points, hopefully you can see, walking from left to right, we are going uphill. So this would be a positive slope. Let's take a look at slide 2. This is our key word here. It says find the slope, meaning we need to calculate it, counting rise over run. Like our elevator, we need to take our elevator up and down before we can walk to whatever room we need to get to. So the points here are already plotted for us. I like to always start on the left, just like we read. If you start on the right, that's fine. Just know if you're counting left to right, left is negative. So up is positive, down is negative, same thing here, negative, positive, just like our number line. So I'm going to count rise over run. So we're really going down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So -5, we went down in our elevator, and then over 1, 2, 3 units, 3 doors down. That is our slope. We always leave it as a fraction. That's the angle of our line. Next, from this point to this point, rise over run, our slope. We're rising 1, 2, 3, 4. Oopsies. Rise 4, and then we're going to run 1, 2. We can simplify this. Both of these are divisible by 2. So we really get 4 divided by 2, which is 2, and 2 divided by 2, which is 1. So our slope is 2 over 1. Well, 2 divided by 1 really is just 2. If you want to leave it as a fraction, they really mean the same thing, these two. Now we're going to learn our third way to find slope, which is from 2 points. When we find slope here, we're using this equation from our slope poster. It's finding the change in our y values up and down on our y-axis, and then our change in our x values left to right. So really what we're doing is we're counting or subtracting this number minus this number and this number minus this number to figure out how far are we actually traveling. So we do that by labeling our points with x's and y's. And this is the first point that's listed, so I'm just going to give this a little sub 1. It's not an exponent. It's just to label that this is our first x, this is our first y, and then this is our second point, so they get 2's, our second x and our second y. So we're going to use this equation here. It says m equals y2 minus y1. You don't need to write this if you can see it right here. I'm just going to make it bigger. x2 minus x1. So first, we need to put whatever number represents our second y right there first. So our second y is right here, which is really the number 4. So I'm going to put there a 4. Then it says subtract our first y. And our first y right here is also the number 4. Then on the bottom, we have x2, which is really the number -3. Then it says a minus x1 over here, which is really a 0. And then we just need to simplify. Straight across the top in our numerator, 4 minus 4 is 0. And then on the bottom, -3 take away nothing is still a -3. So our slope is 0 divided by -3. Well, if we look at our poster, that's okay. It's really just a slope of 0. We don't need to plot the points to tell us that this line would just go left to right, slope of 0. Let's try a couple more. Label your points first, always xy, that's my first point. Xy, that's my second point. They get 1s, they get 2s. And then plug in whatever it says. So first, right here, it says plug in y2, and our y2 is really a -4. Then it says minus, don't forget, always there's a minus as a part of the equation, y1, and y1 over here is really a 6. Then in the denominator, we have x2 minus x1, so we're going to do 5, minus x1, which is really a 0. So we have on the top a -4 minus 6. These are all negatives. It's really a -4 and a -6. Same sign, add and keep. It's really a -10. And 5 minus nothing, 5 minus 0 is just 5. And we can simplify this. We can divide both of these numbers by 2. 10 divided by 2 is 5, so we really have -5. Oop, not, oh my goodness, you guys. I made a mistake. They're not both divisible by 2. I was giving you the answer. They're both divisible by 5. 10 divided by 5 is 2, and it's negative. 5 divided by 5 is 1. So 2 over 1, or just 2. All right, let's keep going. Label your points. X, Y, that's my first point. X, Y, that's my second point. And then we're going to plug them in to our equation up here. So we have y2 minus y1. So we have y2, which is 1, minus y1, which is 3. And then on the bottom, x2 minus x1, or 3 minus a -5. Be careful when we have two negatives. The opposite of a negative is really a positive. So on the top, we have 1 take away 3. There's more negatives, really. So it's really a -2. There are 2 more negatives. And on the bottom, 3 plus 5 is 8. We can simplify this. These are both divisible by 2. So if we simplify, we really have -1 over 8 divided by 2, which is 4. -1/4. All right, we have one more slide of this, practicing counting our slope using our slope formula. That's this equation right here. So I'm going to do the top 2, and then I'll have you try the bottom 2. So first I'm going to label my points, x, y first point, x and y second point, and then plug them into our equation. First we have y2. y2 up here is really the number 5, minus y1. y1 over here is really the number 2. And on the bottom, x2 minus x1, we really have 2 minus 1. So 5 minus 2 is 3. 2 minus 1 is 1. So our slope is 3 over 1, or just 3. All right, we have x, y first point, x, y second point, and then plug them into our equation. y2 minus y1. So we have negative 2 minus y1, which is 2. We used those two numbers. And then x2 minus x1, it's really 5 minus 5. So negative 2 minus 2, it's really a negative 2, and another negative 2, that's really a negative 4. Then on the bottom, 5 minus 5 is 0. This is really, no, it's not okay. So this is a line that is really undefined. If we were to graph it, it would be a vertical line, because no, we cannot walk across that line. It's undefined. There's no slope. All right, last two. I would like you to try on your own and then click play to see if you got it right. So I'm going to plug in y2 minus y1. We have 6 minus a negative 8. Be careful. This negative came from here. Y1 also was a negative, so the opposite of a negative is really a positive. Then on the bottom, x2 minus x1, negative 3 minus 4. So 6 plus 8 is going to give us 14. Negative 3 minus 4, they're all negatives, same sign, add and keep. They're all negatives, negative 7. You can divide both by 7, or you know 14 divided by 7 is really just a negative 2. Or if you divided by 7, you'd get 2 over 1, or just negative 2. If you're dividing by 7, you get 2 over negative 1, which is really just negative 2. All right, last one. Label your points. X, Y, first point. X, Y, second point. And then plug them into our equation. Y2 minus Y1. We have negative 4 minus, again, a negative 2. Two negatives there make a positive. And then on the bottom, x2 minus x1, negative 5 minus 1. So we really have here negative 4 plus 2. There are more negatives, so it's really a negative 2. Negative 5 minus 1, they're all negatives, total of negative 6. We know two negatives multiply or divide to make a positive. And I'm going to erase this so I have some space here. I'll just rewrite it over here. We really have 2/6, which we can divide both by 2 to give us an answer of 1 over 3, or 1/3. I know I kind of worked backwards. We went back to here. Go ahead and try some of these on your worksheet. There are some that you need to use your slope formula that you will need to write on here. It's not written on here for you.